Hello guys, how are you all doing? Today is Sunday. We have to do some analysis on some of the few instruments that we can just monitor over the weekend. For this coming week. So you just need to make sure that you stick with me until the end as we are going to analyze Nasdaq and come up with some idea as to what we can expect from it. Remember last week, when we had our session, it was here, and we did say that no, I think it was somewhere here, somewhere there, yes. And we did predict that we're expecting it to go up, but because there was a trend line there, we are not predicting that it would be broken immediately. That's why we can't just buy there. So we're expecting if it gets broken, then this is where we're gonna take it, and it did do exactly that, and then it took off. So now it's time for us to update our drawings and come up with new ideas as to what to expect. All right, so let's just remove some of this stuff. Let's remove this. Okay, no, let's remove it. So as always, as usual, we always start from the top. But remember, if it's a monthly chart, there's nothing different that you're going to see. There's nothing, because remember, you're forming one candlestick a month. So the weekly price action won't change the price much. But if you remember the comment that I made in the video last week's Nasdaq analysis, so if you haven't watched that video, you can check it out first before coming here, so that when we are continuing with the analysis here, it's more like a continuation of what we were discussing on Sunday last week. So here we did say that we have hit the monthly. I think it goes up until there. The monthly support is holding, and we had a pin bar. We went below it. We said we were worried about it, but because it's a monthly chart, if the price goes up and from a second pin bar, which is what looks like it's what it is doing now, it is a good sign. Then on monthly, we said we're expecting the price to bounce from this area to that area. So monthly support, monthly resistance. So that's it. That's all you have on your monthly chart. And then on weekly, yes, you can see this was drawn on weekly. On monthly starts from somewhere up there, but we are inside the monthly and weekly. On weekly, you can see the price touched the weekly support, and then it just bounced and went up. And the weekly trend line hasn't changed. It's still the same as last week. It is still here. And the weekly resistance, weekly support, weekly bearish trend line. So that is all that you have on your weekly chart. So this one we have to add it because the price is approaching it, the trend line. So remember, we are only adding structures that are going to help us with the trading. So that's why you will never see us having drawn something like that, because at the moment it's not going to help us. It's only going to create confusion. So we only include the stuff that is going to help us come up with the trades. So this is our weekly trend line, somewhere there. I'll fix it when I move to daily. And the weekly support, the resistance is here, the support, the resistance. That's it. That's all you have on weekly. Nothing has changed. It's the same as what we had last week. So now let's put the weekly trend line in place. This is the weekly trend line, you see, and we can see now things are starting to be interesting. And on last week when we did the analysis, the daily bearish trend line was here, and the price was still inside this. We know that this is our weekly support. And what do we have? We have got the daily bearish trend line is broken. And now, but there's something that we have to keep in mind. Weekly bearish trend line is hit. So if you are holding trades, remember I said we don't predict that these things are going to be broken. Yes, they can be broken, but what we know is that price doesn't always move, doesn't move like this. So it can break the trend line, but sometimes doing this. So that's why when we hit the stuff like a trend line like this, we always remove our thing, exit our positions, take our profits, and wait for the price to show us what it wants to do. If it breaks it, then we'll start again and search for new trading opportunities. So daily we broke the trend line, we hit the weekly bearish thing. So on daily, if I'm drawing, remember we always mark the zone above, which is the resistance. So on every time frame, I always mark zone above and zone below. If you remember what we did on weekly, remember we marked zone below, which is the support, and zone above with the resistance, so that we know where the price is moving. So the price is moving from this, trying to reach for that, you see. So that's why it's not important for us to mention this one for now, because the nearest one is this. So this one we just not gonna mark it. We will only mark it if this one gets eliminated. Then we move up, look for the next one, you see, so that our chart is always clean. So we just have this and this, that's it on weekly. So we have to do the same on each time frame, so that we know that, oh, on this time frame looks like the price is trying to move from this to that. So on daily, our resistance is there, and our support is there, you see. But as much as we can say, if you manage to take trades, remember what we did, the analysis that we had last week, and you managed to have like an entry there, then no, it was here, I think. Yes, it was here. If you managed to have that entry here, you're exiting, right? Because you can't say, I'm buying from this, I'm expecting it to hit that resistance there. Yes, it can go there, but remember, that's a daily resistance, and we have hit the weekly trend line that pushes that exits the force inward. It is pushing in the opposite direction. That's why you have to exit. So you exit at the opposing structure that is hit first. It can be a trend line, it can be a area of support or resistance. So here you're exiting here, and you can even, because it's a weekly trend, weekly bearish trend line, you can even look for any, if you want to trade in the opposite direction, if maybe you are using weekly as part of your time frame combinations, and then that's your highest time frame, and now the opposing, the structure of it is hit, which is a bearish trend line. You don't just enter. Why? Because the price is coming from monthly support. We always wait for confirmation. So that monthly support can just cause the price to go like this without even giving you a reason to sell, you see. So if you are selling, if you get reasons to sell, maybe it will be what do you call this, just a pullback, just a small pullback to this level, then maybe go up to that, you see. So maybe something like that, but it's possible that it can just go all at once. But overall, we are pointing up. We are expecting it to go up. Why? Because we have hit weekly support, monthly support, and the only thing that is working against us is the weekly bearish trend line. So if we can remove this out of our way, then we will have everything pointing up. But there is more force to the upside than there is to the downside. So let's check what the H4 is saying. The H4. On H4, remember, this is our weekly trend line. This is our weekly trend line. We know it is hit, and let's see. And our when the price was moving up towards it, it did give us something like this, which means we can have, I know you have said it already, which is our bullish trend line. Our bullish trend line is here. And as always, we always mark on each time frame, we always mark the zone above, which is the resistance, and zone below, which is our support on each time frame. The weekly support and daily support area might not be at the same area. Why? Because on daily you've got too many candlesticks, so you might most likely to have more zones than there is on weekly. Same way, the zones on daily and the zones on H4 won't be the same, because they're on H4 you've got too many candlesticks. So here on H4, our nearest support is this one. This is our support, and this is our zone above, which is our resistance. So if the price hits that, so this is where you can, if the price hits this, and if it hits this, and it gives you reasons to sell, you can take your chances and hope that it will come to this. Why? Because of what? It will be at still we are at what, the weekly trend line. Remember, we can't say If there's a H4 candlestick there, then it means the weekly trend line is broken. No, we can't do that. If you draw a trend line on weekly, it means it belongs to weekly. For it to be broken, it must be broken by candlestick on weekly. So we can go to that resistance and not break the weekly trend line. So that's what I'm saying. If the price goes there and it gives you any reversal structures, you can take your chances there up until the support that we have, and then from there you exit. Because of what, we are not gonna say it's gonna go all the way down like that. Why? Because of what, there's just too much force to the upside. It's just that we know that the price doesn't always move like this, so that's why we are expecting we can expect some reaction there. But you're not gonna go and put, I need to be working. You can't go and put a limit, sell limit there. Why? Because remember, we only use limit orders if everything is pointing in our direction. Then we know that we don't have anything going against us, so we can put limit orders. Here we can't put a limit order. Why? Because the bigger time frame structures are hit, which is weekly and monthly. Then the support zones are hit, so we can try and go with the limit order against them. But if I have if the price gets to that level, if you are trading, let's say you're trading H4 and H1, I get H4 is your highest time frame. So every time the price hits the highest time frame on your sequence, you are trying to look for trades in the opposite direction. But if you don't get them, you don't get them. Why one? So here, because the higher time frame, higher than what we are trading, is pointing up, so we're not gonna put limit orders. So if you get reasons to sell, you are selling, and then you are exiting at the next opposing structure, which is your H4 support. And then you are done. If you don't get a reason to sell, you don't get a reason to sell. It means the price will just go and do that. And when it does that, what will that mean? It means on weekly it will be approaching this, and again it will be breaking the bearish trend line, which means when that trend line gets broken, this is the support that would have given us the move that broke it. So should it come back, we are going strong at it, and we are targeting the next level, which is that. But even though we'll be targeting that, but we can't ignore that the price trend here, we can't ignore that. So this will be our TP1. This will be our TP1, but this is it will be the main target. I hope that makes sense. So for now, we are just, everything is pointing up, and you can see even on weekly, this is what on weekly we have got engulfing. The very same way we had it. If you've been following this channel, we used to talk about this one. But here the price was just above the monthly support, so the price didn't, after engulfing that, it didn't maintain that move to the upside. But we are hoping that the current engulfing will cause the price to go all the way up. Why? Because the price is also coming from it has now touched the monthly support, so we're just hoping that it will go at least this. So we're hoping that this week the price will go to at least this weekly resistance. So I think that will be all that we are having on Nasdaq for this week. So those who are trading H4 as the highest time frame, you have this guy here that you're going to be searching for trades, and this will be your target. So you'll be hoping that you'll get something like this. But you're not going in with limit order. Let me get that one straight. You're not going in with limit orders. You're going to search for reversal signs. When the price has hit that level, then this is where you're going to put your TP. And yeah, that's it. I don't know, I don't like going all the way down, smallest time frames, because of what the structure seems to change as you're moving down. So on daily, on H1, we still have the same area that we had on H4. Currently, this is just a smooth move. There's nothing. And on H1, it means that you're opposing the zone below, or the support is there, and the trend line is somewhere there. You see? So if you are trading H1, now the question is, let me just ask this one question before I end this video. So now if you're trading H1 and the price comes down here, question is, are we buying or what? Are we buying and targeting? Are we going to buy and target this? Are we going to buy and target this? Like, are we going to buy this and target that? Because the space is definitely still 2:1. The 2:1 qualifies there. The question is, are we buying and targeting that or what? Yes or no? I know some will say yes, some will say no. And for me, I'll say because of what we're not saying. If we're saying no, it means it's impossible. Or if we're saying yeah, yes, it means no, it's impossible. It can't play out like that. No, it's just that when you're trading, you need to have rules. Sometimes your rules will say here you are not allowed to buy, but the price goes up. But it does not mean you are wrong. No, you didn't lose anything. Your rules just didn't allow you to execute. So here the answer would be no. I wouldn't say I wouldn't advise us to take a buy there. Why? Come on, guys, because on weekly we just hit weekly trend line. So how on earth would I try and force this H1 to fight that weekly trend line? So what if that weekly trend line gives us a pullback? So that's why we're expecting that maybe the pullback, it will make sense that it comes to this would be enough of a pullback to this, other than just what we're having a smaller than one here, you see. So that's why we're saying we're just hoping that the price comes here so that we can try and get selling trades there if we get them. But overall, we still have the same sentiments as last week. Everything is still like this. All right, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you follow the thing. We are on the same page. If not, then I'm assuming that you are still new on the page. So I would suggest that you go back and try and watch the videos in the very same order that I posted them. So scroll all the way back, give yourself time. You don't have to rush through it. So what you can do is that you can watch those videos in the sequence that I posted them, and then only follow up with if I make a new upload, if it's about like the ones that I make on Sundays, then you can just join just to try and test your memory to say that, oh, I remember in the videos I learned about 1, 2, 3. Now let me watch him as he analyzes on Sundays, just so that I see how he applies this concepts on a sort of current price, so that you learn like that. But you don't have to rush it. Go back. By the time you get here, when we make these sessions on Sundays and I ask questions like this, do you think we are going to buy here, yes or no? You'll be able to say yes or no based on your reasons from what you learned in the videos that I made in the past. Alright, and don't forget to subscribe, guys, and then I'll see you in the next video. Alright, sharp.